you don't start there, you'll end there.
The managing director of Paragon Trust Company and tax and private client practitioner joins us to bring a common sense approach to money in a world of total insanity. Let's welcome Tony D'Angelo.
All right, so I don't want to put Tony on the spot. It's so funny how the world works. There's a cosmic flow to this world. It's crazy. So he's telling me off the air. Now, listen, I won't share what you said if you don't want me to, and that's fine. But
go right ahead.
No, well, you said.
Pleasure to be among everybody.
Thank you as always. And
proud.
I opened the show up, and I was helter-skelter all over the place, and I had kind of an idea what I wanted to talk about, but then I never got there, so, and I was angry, like I am almost every show, right? I'm looking at this, and I'm talking about that, and then I come back after the quick break, and I say, I'm going to try to be happy. We'll play some music that makes me happy. We'll have, better thoughts, and we'll just maybe have a little bit more fun today. And then what do you say? You say you want to do good things. You come up and you say, let's do some good things without me prompting it, which is amazing to me. See, everything kind of works out.
I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to adjust to December. December's a rough month in this business, and you do tend to become a little Ebenezer-like. I've realized the burden it's caused to those around me, and after this year, it's. I want to do different. I want to do some good things, and I want to help some people. But yeah, it's there's always somebody who has it a whole lot worse than you do, and that's dawning on me even more so.
That's so true. You think about, you had a terrible day, you had a bad day, and then something comes along. It's and I feel like this happens to me all the time, and I won't steal a lot of your time with this, but I feel like this happens to me a lot. If I'm having like this lousy day or something terrible happens to me. Call it God, call it a higher power, call it the cosmic universe, but somehow, some way, something is presented to me, like somebody in a wheelchair or somebody walking, with a cane, or somebody's very sick, or a young kid who, is battling some disease, is put in front of me, and it sobers me up instantly. Sadly, I usually forget it, and I'm, the next day, and I go back to being sort of a Grinch, but it's a good point. I feel like, though, the universe sometimes shows you how good you have it, and you don't really realize it.
Oh, yeah. You have things that if I had all the money in the world, I could not buy. We all have things like that.
Yeah, no question about it, my friend. No question. All right, listen, I mentioned JFK. You wanted to go down that road again quick?
Well, it's interesting. If we want to talk about assassinations, let me tell you about the Martin Luther King assassination. Again, I won't burn up a lot of time on it, but, those of us in this media world, how did I find out about Martin Luther King being killed when I was 12 years old? Well, I was watching I Love Lucy on Channel 5 out in New York. I could remember the episode. It was the one with George Reeves as Superman. A bulletin came on. We have a bulletin from Memphis. Martin Luther King has been shot and killed coming off a balcony. The news at 10. Now back to I Love Lucy. Wow. And we're so absorbed with this media age, we don't think about how things used to be. They were a lot more factual. They were, there were some cover-ups like JFK, but they were a lot more to the point and a whole lot more unbiased. But that kind of brings me to where I'm headed today, which is sort of the polar opposite, and really what I think, being the first guest in December to have a December to remember here on the 0600 Club. I want to, if I can, I want to talk about this thing which is starting to get play with the second out in the bottom of the ninth with two people down. Is this I call it redoing of zoning. Now, there is an article in the Hartford Courant last week referencing a 23-page report done by a group. Now, again, this is Connecticut. So in Connecticut, it's government, as far as I'm concerned, by subterfuge. They want you to look at a person or a legislature and say this is coming from them when you know it isn't. I say wherever I go that do not think for a moment that all the things that come out of Ned Lamont's mouth are Ned Lamont. They come from the Boston Consulting Group. And for every politician that says, oh, we should have hired somebody local, it's like, pal, you are 3 to the right and 2 to the left. You have no idea what you're talking about. There's something much bigger here at work, and you need to understand that. Now, this 23-page report about, how I am this horrible person because I ate peanut butter sandwiches for 12 years and kept the car for 15 because I wanted to pay my mortgage. Single-family homes are exclusionary and racist. Homeowners are too old. We have to get younger people in the state because this is an old state and it's economically bereft. It's economically bereft because of its policies, basically, is what it is. It has nothing to do with housing. Anybody can come and live wherever they want. Local zoning is bad, and this all kind of goes to a bill where, lights are starting to go on way after the election. They should have been going on in August and September about, we're going to restructure these communities. But again, this is Connecticut. It's not what you see. It's subterfuge. It's what you don't see. It's what a magician does. Focus on my hand. Don't focus on what I'm doing under the table. Here's the under the table part about the Connecticut School Finance Project, which actually used to be known as, it's now the State and School Finance Project, and it used to be known as the Connecticut School Finance Project. I looked all over. I said, well, let me go see the tax return. Let me go see the 990. There ain't any. It is right on their site that they are the nonprofit project of something called TNSE Mission Works. Now, TNSE Mission Works is a huge charitable organization. It used to be Third Sector New England, but like a lot of nonprofits that now are 501c3s, charitable, but they really are political activist organizations. This is something which actually comes out of it's known as the Open Society Network. The Open Society Network is Georgie Porgy, Soros, that funds money down to these things. This is a government. This is an organization which is known actually right on their website, anti-Donald Trump, anti-business, and they are part of a group. I mean, there's like pages and pages and pages of this stuff, which kind of, we do our best to get it in the time allotted. That is something, they're a great supporter of something called the Building Movement Project. The Building Movement Project, one of the blog entries on their site talks about the evilness of white women, and you have to get rid of male privilege. So again, it's Ned Lamont, no people, it's Boston Consulting. It's this wonderful little nonprofit group called the Connecticut School Finance Project. No, it's something much bigger. And I say to myself, as a citizen of the state, as a business person, when does our government finally put the light on and say, this is not something you could handle with handshakes across an aisle. This is, Connecticut here is a pawn in this game. And the whole idea is to get this agenda in. They really don't care about us. And the last thought I have is, if you want me to believe you in whatever's taking place and what I pick up in a newspaper or what I'm hearing in COVID statistics, people, you're lying through your teeth right here. Why should I believe you? Question everything.
Are these, groups, these charitable groups set up in your mind to do nefarious things, or are they set up?
It's interesting you mentioned that, and thank you for doing that, Lee Elci. Not originally. This group here started out as a quote-unquote charitable organization. People have come to these groups over the course of time with agendas and have made them slant politically. And no, they're not. Their functioning is that, and really, they're starting to function, or they have been functioning, as wolves in sheep's clothing.
Right.
And when you look at something where it's like you have no there is no real quote unquote charity. Well, where's the money coming from? Stupid me. You need money to run things. Well, that's where it's coming from. A much larger organization. This group had a $41 million. The TNSE Mission Works group had a $41 million revenue in 2017 and 2018. I mean, that ain't chicken feed.
We're talking again to our good pal, Tony D'Angelo, and we get lucky. We got lucky getting a chance to have him on the show every single Tuesday morning. And, it's funny, as you're speaking, a couple people are asking me the same question. It's a weird day today, but they're asking me where they can listen to you. Like, they missed a little bit of this and they want to hear the whole thing. And I've said this before, and a lot of people ask me, about some of the segments that you kind of present, because you go very quickly sometimes, and you throw a lot of information out there, and people really want to absorb that all. So I just want to remind everybody.
I'll make up a clip for replay. First,
No.
you have your SoundCloud.
We'll get to SoundCloud. I want to tell everybody you can go right to SoundCloud and listen to the entire show. And again, if for some reason out there you can't find what you're looking for, I just tell me and I will cut you this piece and I'll send it to
Yeah, or come to me.
Yeah, either way. Either way.
And another thing is, how could I put it? Here I am. I have a lot invested in the state. Lee Elci, I'm trying to save my state. If there is a person out there, a legislator, somebody, is like, hey, there's a ball game over there and I'm missing it or whatever, come to me and I will walk you through this, because it's not, quote unquote, this thing of, how can I put it, this is something done by ingenues that we're all real bad people and we have to do something else. This is part of a much bigger agenda where, unfortunately, a little state like this, we're just cannon fodder.
Tony, let me ask you this. I may have asked you this before in the past, but I'll ask you again. Will the state ever get so bad for you? I mean, you've been successful. You could move. I mean, would you ever move?
I put it this way: I'm here as long as I could help someone, and that's basically it. If I have a purpose, moving's not on my
Right.
moving's not on my thing to do. Now, of course, I realize that bothers a number of people, but no, you won't discourage me for being there. When the Spirit tells me to move, I'll move.
No, you stand and
fine.
fight. No, you stand and fight. I just think a lot of people get so frustrated with.
Oh, I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Banging their head against, literally, banging their head against the wall. And then if you're somebody who wants to save a whole bunch of money on taxes, if you're a pension person, you move to Florida for 6 months and a day, right?
Well, yeah, and there's a whole science to that, and again, people, if you're going to do that, don't try it at home. But basically, what it comes down to is I've watched so many people who have done great work, who have built homes, who have gone and done things, and it's like, because of, whatever you want to call it, a political system being a political system, they have a chance of, not a good chance, but not a chance of good things, of losing what they've done. That's the part that troubles me, because, that's what I've come up through.
All right, brother, listen, I got to run. It's always an honor and a pleasure. I'll talk to you next week.
Me too.
All right, pal.
Talk soon.
All right. We'll come right